Hey you guys, and welcome back. Today is going to be the start of a new series on my channel. I don't actually know what I'm gonna call this yet. Right now in my head it's just my drugstore makeup collection. What I wanted to do was basically do videos on every single product in my collection. So for example, all my drugstore foundations, all my concealers, all my bronzers. Today I'm actually doing blushes. Blushes are some of my favorite makeup products. I know that blush is not for everyone. I know a lot of people don't wear blush at all, but personally I love blush and I wear blush every single day. I just feel like there's something missing in my makeup routine when I don't have a blush on. So that's how I wanted to start the series off. Pretty sure I have all of my blushes in front of me. The only thing I'm not going to go through are the blushes that are part of bronzer or face palettes. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know if you like this new series and also let me know what you'd like to see next. I want to try and film a video like this once a month or like twice a month. I think that's everything I want to say. I hope you guys like this new series. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's go ahead and get started. I tried something new with my makeup today and I wore glitter on my lids. I don't know if you guys can see. Unfortunately, it got like all over my face. Plus, I was going for a very dewy face routine today. That just made it worse. Like my face is already dewy and glowy, and then there's like also glitter particles everywhere. I don't really know where to start. I'm kind of like overwhelmed a little bit by the amount of blushes I have. Okay, I'm gonna start off with these blushes. These are the NYX powder blushes. I have this one which is in the shade Cinnamon and this one which is in the shade Terracotta. Terracotta is one of my all-time favorite blushes. I'm actually just about to pull it out into my like everyday makeup drawer again. It's the perfect bronzy blush. It is so beautiful. And the formula of these NYX powder blushes is also really good. I hope they're not discontinued. I feel like a lot of the blushes in my collection have actually been discontinued. Blushes take a very long time to hit pan on and finish up, so I've had a lot of these products for a very long time. But hopefully they did not discontinue these powder blushes because the formula is so amazing. I really like it. It's very smooth, it's very buttery, it looks beautiful on the skin. The shade Cinnamon, I don't wear as much as I wear Terracotta because it is very intense. Like it's a very vibrant red toned blush, but it is beautiful in the summertime, especially when I have a tan. I love both of these blushes and I really hope that NYX does not discontinue them. Next, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite blush formulas, I think, of all time, and these are the Milani baked blushes. These are just such a good drugstore blush formula. I know that a lot of people rave about these, but it's all for good reason. I have 3 of them and my favorite is definitely Rose Doro. I talk about this blush all the time. It lives in my everyday makeup drawer. It's just such a good blush. It's a beautiful rose gold. I feel like it would look good on a variety of different skin tones. I also really like the shade Coralina. I don't wear it quite as often, but it is still a really pretty coral shade. It kind of looks similar to Rose Doro on camera, but it's more of a coral. This one is a little bit more sparkly, so it's a little bit more challenging, I feel like, to wear, especially if you don't want any glitters on your cheeks. And then I also have the shade Luminoso, which is, I think, like everybody's favorite on YouTube. It's a really pretty glowy peach. I actually don't wear it as often as I thought I would. Like when I bought it, I thought I would wear it way more often, but I ended up liking Rose Doro more. You just can't really go wrong with the Milani baked blush formula. It's definitely worth trying if you have not yet. The next blushes I want to talk about are, I believe they are discontinued, so I'm only going to talk about them briefly, but these are the Essence Silky Touch blushes. I do have 3 of the shades, and I'm really sad they discontinued these. I know they came out with other blushes, but I have not tried any of the other ones that they have, and these ones are just so good that even though they're discontinued, I'm gonna keep wearing them. I don't know why they would discontinue like such a good formula. The first one is in the shade Babydoll. It's this beautiful pink blush. Just makes your cheeks look so glowy and so silky and smooth. I'm not a super big pink blush wearer. I feel like I go for more of like the warmer, rosier tones versus like the cool tone pinks, but this is a cool tone pink that I really love. I also really like the shade Autumn Peach. This is the one I always pull out in the spring and the fall time. It's just such a good transition shade. And the last one is in the shade Life's a Cherry. This is more of a coral blush. I don't wear it that often because it's just very intense and it's very pigmented and you have to go with a super duper light hand. It sucks that they discontinued these because they are such a good formula. I hate when brands do that. Like, why? Why would you discontinue something that's working? I feel like the veins in my hands are really popping out in the close-ups of these. I don't know why my skin is so translucent today. Oh, I had one more NYX blush. I didn't realize I had another one. This is one of their high definition blushes. I feel like these are also discontinued, but I could just be making this up. This one is in the shade Nude Tude. Nude Tude. I actually haven't worn this one in a while. I feel like it was too light for my skin tone. It's not even showing up when I'm swatching this on the back of my hand. Like, I don't know if you can see that. It's also matte, and I'm not such a big fan of matte blushes. I prefer dewy blushes or glowy blushes. I actually should declutter this one now that I think about it. I never really wear it and it doesn't really do anything for my skin. It is a nice formula though. Like, it's a pretty silky smooth and buttery formula, but just, I probably picked the wrong color. Okay, oh, I messed up again. Had another Milani blush as well. This is the Milani Rose Powder Blush in the shade Romantic Rose. This is a beautiful everyday blush. This is probably one of the matte blushes I actually like because it's not like a dead matte on your skin. It has a little bit of a satin sheen to it. It's actually such a stunning color and it looks beautiful for every day. Whenever I wear this blush, actually somebody asks me what blush I'm wearing, and it's weird because you wouldn't think that this blush would stand out. It really does magic to your cheeks and I love the way that it looks. When you don't know what blush to pair with a look, I feel like this one is a good option. You can't really go wrong. It's just your basic everyday blush. I'm so sorry about the close-ups of all these blushes. I feel like they are not turning out great. I don't even think you can see how the blushes look. This is a Wet n Wild blush. Actually, I should pull this one back out. I really, really like it. This is kind of old now, but it is a really good blush. This is their Color Icon blush in the shade Pearlescent Pink. This is actually a beautiful blush for the springtime. It's got these gold sparkles in it. The formula of this is a little bit powdery for my taste, but the color just makes it worth it and it still looks really pretty on your cheeks even though it's super powdery. Plus, it's like $3, I think. Wet n Wild is always super affordable. This is the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush in the shade Just Peachy. This is another one I feel like I should pull back out now that it's spring because this is more of like a spring summer blush for me. I do really like peachy blushes as well, but I still feel like on my skin tone, rosy blushes look the best. Peach is probably like my second favorite color to wear on my cheeks. The formula of this blush is like nothing in my collection. It's so smooth and creamy textured, really nicely pigmented as well. I'm gonna pull this one back out actually and put it in my everyday makeup drawer. I hope this video doesn't end up being too long. I do have a lot of blushes. I feel like I don't need this many. Between like blushes and eyeshadow palettes, those are like some of my favorite makeup purchases. Okay, Makeup Revolution or Revolution Beauty now. It's so confusing, but I feel like they're just Revolution Beauty. This is their matte blush in the shade Divine. This is totally out of character for me. This is a super like cool toned, almost bubblegum pink. I really only wear this one in the winter time. It just doesn't work when my skin is tanned, but it is such a nice formula. I do want to pick up more actually. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I feel like nobody talks about these blushes and they are matte. And like I said, I mostly have dewy or glowy blushes, but this one doesn't look like a flat matte. It almost has this like dimensional aspect to it. A really, really nice formula, very, very smooth. I've never touched anything this smooth before. It almost doesn't even feel like makeup when you're like touching it. You have to swatch one of these to understand what I mean, but it's just the smoothest like I've ever felt. I love this color in the wintertime. It just looks very fresh and youthful, kind of like a blush that makes you feel like you're young and you're playing in the snow. I don't know, that's what it reminds me of. If you're not into like cool toned pinks as blush, I feel like this one might change your mind. I also have a blush palette from Revolution Beauty. I don't know if they still sell this. I feel like when they relaunched and rebranded to be like Revolution Beauty, they got rid of a lot of their really good classic products. This is their Ultra Blush palette in the shade Sugar and Spice. I'm actually wearing this color and this color on my cheeks today. This palette comes with a really good variety of shades. Most of the 6 here are matte. Then you've got these 2 really pretty glowy blushes on this side. And at first, I really didn't like these 2, but now they're like my favorite from the whole palette. These 2 pans were actually what really inspired me to start wearing more glowy blushes. I just love the idea of like your whole cheek being dewy and glowy versus just like the highlighter. I really love this palette. If you're a blush lover like myself, I feel like you would also really like this palette. The last blushes I want to talk about are all from ALF. I have a ton of ALF blushes. You guys, actually you may not know, but ALF is one of my favorite brands. They're just the brand that I get the most excited about when they release new products. I'm just gonna start off with this one. This is like an ALF classic. This is the ALF Studio Blush in the shade Mellow Mauve. This is a pretty unique color because it is a mauve shade, but it has this duochrome sheen to it. I don't even know if you'll be able to tell on camera, but it's got this weird, well not weird, it's got this pretty duochrome sheen, even though you might think it's just a regular mauve or mauve. I keep switching between the 2 pronunciations. Blush, it just has this unique quality to it that makes this blush a little bit more exciting than your average everyday mauve shade. Also have the ALF Primer Infused Blush. This is in the shade Always Fiery. Actually, this one is really similar to NYX Cinnamon. Oh my gosh, I actually feel like they are the exact same shade. I think this one is maybe a little bit more brown almost. It has less of a coral vibe and more of like a burnt orangey vibe. This is another blush that I can't really wear unless I'm super duper tan. So I have to kind of wait until summer to wear this blush. It's also extremely pigmented. You can get to clown cheeks really quick with this blush, but I think if you stipple it on and you use it very sparingly, it can just give you a pretty rosy flush to your cheeks. This is the ALF Blush Duo in the shade Rosy Flush. This is a product that I like to pull out in the fall time. I don't like wearing either of these shades alone. I actually like to mix the 2 shades together. I'll show you guys in the swatch both of them separately and then the 2 combined, but this is definitely a fall blush palette for me. I really like it and the formula is great. And then I have the ALF Blush Palette. I actually don't wear this palette that much anymore. It used to be one of my favorite like blush palettes and I used to wear these blushes all the time, but lately I just have not been reaching for it that much. I think I bought the wrong color. I should have bought the lighter palette. This one is in the shade Dark. Probably a blush palette I should declutter as well. It's not really suited to my skin tone. I don't really know what I was thinking. I do like the formula of these blushes. It's just the colors and the shades of the pans that is not appealing to me anymore, but if it works for your skin tone, I would totally recommend you pick up this palette. It's also super affordable and you do get 4 decent sized blushes. The last 3 products from ALF that I'm going to talk about are all cream blushes. I actually wish I had more cream style blushes. I feel like that is something I want to get more into, is cream products. These are the Beautifully Bare cream blushes. I'm wearing this one on my cheeks today. This is Rose Royalty. I don't know how I said it like that. Rose Royalty. I just apply it with a damp sponge and then dab it onto my cheeks. I'm wearing this one underneath and then I applied a combination of these 2 blushes on top, but I also really like Peach Perfection. I prefer Rose Royalty at this point. I think that one looks better on my cheeks, but Peach Perfection is also really pretty. I hope ALF still sells these because like I mentioned, a lot of my blushes are old and I feel like a lot of them have been discontinued. Really like these blushes. Would definitely recommend you give them a try if you want to try out a good drugstore cream. And last but not least, this video is so long. Oh my god, this is the ALF Cream Blush Palette. I have mine in the shade Soft. Again, a really nice formula. They're super creamy, like they don't feel dry at all. They're creamier than the Beautifully Bare blushes that I just showed you. They are really beautiful shades. I like all of them. I can't really pick a favorite. I would definitely recommend you give this blush palette a try if you're into cream blushes. Okay, that is everything. I'm sorry that this video is so long. Like I said, I have a lot of blushes. They're just some of my favorite makeup things to wear. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like this style of video. Let me know what products you would like to see next. I'm gonna get through everything slowly, but if you guys have a preference for what I film next in my makeup collection, let me know. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you would like to see more videos, and I'll see you in my next one.